Panel will be joined in 2 or 3 minutes.
Hello?
Yes, unmute your panel will be joined in 2 or 3 minutes. Okay,
Okay.
we wait.
Yeah, but Raj, yeah, good time to start the interview. So, can you please explain yourself, introduce yourself, and what kind of project you are handling, and how many years of experience have you? Yeah.
So, good afternoon. My name is Ritvik. I live in Dwarka, Delhi. So, my total experience is 5 years and 10 months, of which 3 years is of the cloud experience. And till now, I was working with the MDocs Pune on the payroll of Service Software Private Limited. So, my project was cloud migration program from on-prem to cloud. And the cloud which they were using was Azure Cloud. So in total, my client was AT&T, and they had 7,000 applications, out of which 4,000 were supposed to be migrated to the cloud. So the contract was distributed amongst 5 companies. So one was MDocs, one was Accenture, one was IBM, Microsoft, and one other. So my task was to do the ADO onboarding. So by ADO onboarding, it was an AT&T proprietary automation process, in which we had to do the configuration in the portal, and after that 2 environments. One was the DevOps prod and one was DevOps non-prod, used to reflect automatically in the Azure cloud. And after that we got the target architecture and the DD. DD stands for detailed documentation of that particular application, according to which we had to go through the entire application and make the resources for the production environment for POC, non-prod.
That was. I'm not getting clear face on you, and because some network issues. You joined as a mobile network, right?
My network is fine and my video is also working. My webcam light is on and I am able to see myself.
I'm able to see you, but it's getting blur.
No, so your network has some issue.
No, my network is fine now.
And
I'm joined through Wi-Fi. You are joined through Wi-Fi or mobile network?
Yeah, my connection is all right. And I am.
No, I'm asking, joining through mobile network or Wi-Fi?
I have already joined through my mobile.
You are joined through mobile network?
Yes.
Internet, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm asking, man.
So do I need to join from some other network?
Yeah, I'm asking to join through Wi-Fi network.
Okay, but my Wi-Fi is a bit far away. Let me try.
I can't even judge your voice. The voice is coming your sound is coming first, and your voice not matching with you.
Okay. I'm joining. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, is it fine?
Yeah.
Now is it fine?
Yeah, is it fine now?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my task was to create the resources for the production environment according to the target architecture, and we used Terraform in Visual Studio Code for Visual Studio Code for that particular application migration. So in total, MDocs had 1,000 application in their bucket, And if I talk about, there was another project that was the Bssc project, since Amdocs is a product-based company, so it was their internal product. So I had only a part of it. So in the morning time, we had a meeting with the QE team. So QE team used to give us a document in which various changes to the code were written. So the code was pushed to the Nexus repository, and we used to pull those code from Nexus to the bit bucket, do the changes according to the document, and then we used to trigger the Jenkins pipeline and do the CD part. And the triggering was manual and not the automated one. So that was the Bssc project. Previously, I was working with KMG IT services. So soon after I joined, after 6 months, so the cloud work was introduced there. So they had various clients. So I used to go as a deputation engineer, and then whatever their requirements were, my task was to get in touch with their teams and help them, and give my best to contribute their cloud deployment.
Okay.
Whatever.
Have you involved?
Yeah, please pardon.
Okay, fine. How many years of experience?
So total is 5 years and 10 months, which includes desktop support, technical support, networking, servers, and 3 years include cloud and DevOps.
Acha, okay. Have you involved any writing the Docker files?
Yes.
So what is the difference between the CMD and entry point?
So in CMD, the command line parameters are ignored, and in the entry point, the command line parameters are appended.
So can we have a multiple CMDs in Docker file?
Yes.
Okay. So if suppose I can say like have it 100 CMDs in a Docker file.
Mm-hmm.
So for which one will be the appear for creating the Docker image?
The last one.
The last one. Are you sure?
I have not created in that much in depth. I have used a single CMD command only. But as per my logic, because the command line parameters are ignored in the CMD file. So let's say we have two parameters. So if the last one we are trying to get the host name, and one is the username, so the host name will be displayed, since command line arguments are ignored.
Suppose I'm running container.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The container will be stopped stage.
Mm-hmm.
So will I able to enter in the container or not?
Container is in the stopped state.
Yeah.
This I have not tried, but
Okay. So do you know the command to enter the Docker container?
Docker exec is the command.
Proxy. Okay. So that what is the use of reverse proxy in Docker in Nginx?
So reverse proxy is something if we want to, the use single port for, for port forwarding it is used.
For code PowerPoint? Sorry?
Port forwarding. So let's say there is a port 80, and we want to use another port to serve our application. For that, reverse proxy is used. It is used in Nginx basically.
Okay, right. So you have any experience in Jenkins, or just you have a knowledge on it?
Working experience I have. Plus in KMG, I had set up one Jenkins in the EC2 as per the requirement they were trying to deploy. So for the demo purpose, I had installed in one of the EC2, and in my Bssc project, I used to trigger the builds. But those builds were manual.
Okay. 1 second. So coming to the Jenkins points, how to integrate the Kubernetes Docker with the Jenkins? How to integrate Kubernetes Docker with Jenkins?
I have not integrated Docker and Kubernetes with Jenkins.
Okay, what do you know about that then? So let's say in Jenkins we have a slaves and masters, right?
Uh,
Slaves and master. So suppose if I want to create a two masters for one project, is it okay or not?
no,
No. So
we can
just
do it,
uh,
but it is not feasible.
it's not feasible. So can I ask you, like, the higher priority I want two masters. Can I higher priority?
Uh, this I have not done.
Okay. So have you experience in Kubernetes?
Only the troubleshooting, a little bit of troubleshooting and installation part I have, because in Bssc project that was running in the Kubernetes, Azure Kubernetes service. So whenever there any error comes to, I used to work with the team for the troubleshooting.
Okay. So how we can scaling of Kubernetes pods?
So there is a command for replicas, so we can set the replicas as per our requirement.
Okay. So you have only starting knowledge on Kubernetes, right?
Yes, yes. Not
So what is
end to end. I didn't get the chance to deploy Kubernetes.
so just give me briefly introduction, like what Kubernetes will do, like what kind of tools we are using in the Kubernetes
So,
like let's say architecture of the Kubernetes.
so one is the master and other are the slaves. So in the master we have API server, controller, scheduler, etcd, and so all those things. And in the nodes we have pods, we have containers. So the containers runs inside the pod, and the cluster is at the top level. Inside the cluster we have nodes, inside the nodes we have pods, inside the pods we have the containers, and inside the containers we have the applications. So while configuring the master, so the token is generated and we have to copy those tokens to the slaves, and then in this way the cluster is Kubernetes cluster is formed.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so etcd will store all the configurations. Scheduler will schedule all the jobs. Controller is the heart of the Kubernetes, which controls the Kubernetes. API server makes the connection between the user and the daemon. And kubectl is used as a service. Let's say in Windows we have various kind of services. So kubectl is a type of service. And if we are using in the on-prem, so we will use kubeadm, otherwise kubectl. And this is the architecture of Kubernetes. So basically the scalability is very good in Kubernetes, and it can expand and shrink according to the requirement. So that's all about the Kubernetes. And the major part is played by the pod, and it is advisable to keep one container, uh, I mean a single container in a single pod.
Right. So suppose, like, so I want to create a pod in uh, like, so sorry. So where we get the instruction from to create the pods? Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, where we can get the instruction to create the pods, either from kubectl or agent API.
kubectl, because after kubectl we write the kubectl, apply the YAML, and then we get the pods.
Okay.
The other one was
Uh-huh.
the other one you had given.
No. And so suppose I have two containers. Okay. So in the two containers, how to share the volume with another container? So how to? So I need to share the volume to one to another.
Share what?
I need to share the volume.
Acha, value. So To communicate between different containers, we used cluster IP as a service for
Cluster IP,
container networking.
container networking. Have you know the command of that?
No command I right now I don't remember, but there are three services basically. So actually there are in total four: cluster IP, node port, load balancer, and the DNS based service. But recently I have not used, so right now I don't remember.
Okay. So what is difference between copy and fetch model?
Copy and
Fetch model.
in Git.
Yeah. So I think it's Ansible. Yeah.
Ansible or
Ans-
Git?
Ansible.
Copy and fetch.
Hmm. Copy.
Fetch will be used to fetch the configuration of the nodes which we have connected to the Ansible server.
Yeah.
And copy, I mean, copy command is not, I have not heard in Ansible. It's in the Docker file.
Exactly. Yeah. So do you have experience in Ansible as well, right?
Yes, Ansible I had configured back in KMG. So
Mhm.
basically it's a client agentless tool, push based mechanism.
Okay. So have you involved any writing, creating the EC2 instances in Terraform?
Yes.
Can you please share the screen and start writing the install the EC2 instance through
Yeah,
Terraform code?
yeah, but the syntax I will need to take from the net because it is used in the like JSON format, no? So in EC2 instance is equals to we will write the AMI ID and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So basic syntax I can give you. So at the top we will write the providers and then the AWS, and after that we will write the EC2, and after that it's AMI ID. So in that way the Terraform script will go.
Okay. So are you able to write or not? So
Yeah,
let me
but
know.
actually the when I was writing Terraform code for my Azure, so the skeleton code was already, so mdocs called it the golden images. So we used to take the skeleton code from there, and the testing team used to give us the naming convention, and according to that we had to create the VMs and all of the code. Not only EC2, I mean in Azure I used to write the Terraform code. So be it the database and load balancer and network security groups, all of the Terraform file. And in mdocs all the files were separate, not in a single script. So basically in Terraform we will write the is equals to values, and the like if we want to omit any code we will use the commits and the double quotes, and if any error is coming, so if you are using Visual Studio Code, so the code will go red and it will display that there is any error, or otherwise if we have committed some mistake and is there any dependency issue, so we will get the error while running our pipeline.
So just normally you getting your code from different environment and just start installing the EC2 instances.
Yeah, basically the skeleton code is always same, because learning all the syntaxes is not possible. And in mdocs the migration program for all the applications, I mean the naming conventions were all the same, but only the variable values were different. That's the thing.
So okay, that's fine, no problem. So coming to back of Ansible, let us say I have a playbook with 5 tasks in the playbook. Okay. First 2 tasks should run on local mission, and another 3 tasks should run on node. How?
Another 3 tasks should run on
Node.
node means the cloud node.
Yeah.
So in the playbook we can write the task as in local or whatever our machine name is, and we will specify the is equals to, like if any task is there, so the task one is equals to that run in the node or any ID which we have configured, and the other task 3, task 4 and task 5, I'm telling the syntax is equals to that particular nodes in which either their EMI ID or whatever parameters we are using. So this kind of playbook I have not written, but the logic is the same only.
So suppose so AWS services, how long you are experienced?
So back in KMG I was using around 2 years.
Yes, through, like, you guys are knowledge in AWS services through any Terraform area, like, we are using like Terraform scripts to run
So
in it.
little bit of the Terraform, around 30 to 40%, and 50% was through the Terraform and 50% was through that manual, depending upon the project.
Okay. So what is the difference between say in the Git, difference between like Git pull and Git fetch?
So Git pull will bring all the changes along with it, and Git fetch will tell only what changes have occurred in the repository.
According to the repository.
If you want to see any changes, then use fetch. Git pull is that when you want to pull the changes what the previous developer has committed, and then continue the work from there only.
Okay, so right. So what is difference between application load balancer and network load balancer?
So application load balancer is the balancer which uses HTTP and HTTPS as a protocol, while network load balancer is the load balancer which uses TCP, TLS and UDP as a protocol. That's the first difference. Second difference is that if we have the application which is the distributed kind of things, such as the containers or any microservices, for that we can use or any request based service, so for that we can use application load balancer. But if the application is something like which is not that much loosely coupled, and there are very less latency and a lot of bandwidth is required, and we want very less latency, for that use a network load balancer. So previously there were 3 kind of load balancer. One was classic, one was network, and one was application. And application load balancer uses instance IP and lambda, and the network load balancer uses instance IP and application load balancer, which has been used recently within the network load balancer. So that's the main difference. So if the application is critical, we should go for the network load balancer, and if the request based application or the microservices or container based application, so we can go for application load balancer.
Yeah. So here, what is port number, default port number for route 53?
Port number for
route 53.
53 only.
53 only.
Because it's a DNS management service, and the port number is for the DNS is 53 only.
So what is the maximum downtime for route 53?
Maximum downtime?
Yeah.
No idea. Downtime?
Yeah.
No idea.
For route 53, there is no downtime for it. It's 100% is available.
Okay. Because I never heard that Route 53 is going down.
Yeah.
I never heard this thing.
Yeah. So in how to copy a file from EC2 mission to S3 bucket?
We can sync the S3 bucket to the EC2 using AWS CLI, and then we can basically I had done this thing in KMG. So first of all we will install AWS CLI, then use AWS S3 MB command. We will create the S3, and then with EC2 we will sync it, and after that we can copy the file.
Okay.
Now using AWS CLI it can be accomplished.
Okay, do we need to give any bucket name?
Yes.
Or
The bucket names it should be unique.
how?
How means nobody else should be using it, so we need to give the unique bucket name. Buckets
Right.
cannot have similar name.
Exactly. So what is the unique setup in S3 bucket and why?
Unique setup.
Unique, yeah.
So it's an object based storage. Capacity is 5 TB, and the unique thing is that it has inside it there are 5 types of further storages which are used for different purposes, and it is very dynamic and can be accessed through the internet.
Okay. So in S3 bucket, we have an option to store the files and kind of things, right?
Mhm.
So what, like, I can say files, images. So can I store images in the S3 bucket?
Yes. Images means which images?
Uh, Let us say example, normal image. So we store the files and images like
So
screenshots kind of things.
okay, yeah, it can create.
We can.
Yes.
Okay.
So for S3 it is also used to store Terraform files by default.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, Bharatwaj, I'm done from my end.
Okay.
So, do you want to ask anything?
No, not as of now.
Yeah, thank you. Also, one thing. So, if I come to my rating,
Mhm.
so out of 5 AWS services, how much you are rating?
I mean, I will give 3.5 out of 5, 3.5 to 4, because
Okay.
there are some services actually. I would tell you frankly, while I was working in KMG, so they had various clients. So since the cloud was new, so I used to go there and contribute my best. So in that way, I had got exposure to a lot of, services, but some of them were not in depth. So there are some, services like auto scaling and EC2 load balancing. For that, I will rate 4 out of 5. And there are some like Lambda and all those. So for those kind of applications, 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
And in Kubernetes, I didn't get chance to for end-to-end deployment, but basics all I know. And in Docker, I will rate around 3 out of 5. And in Jenkins, also around 3 out of 5.
Okay. Yeah, and then Bharatwaj, thank you for joining the call. I'll update your feedback to HR.
Mhm.
Contact.
Okay, thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Thank you.